Is this thing on? I think it is. Welcome everyone to the Ales and Fails Twitch stream. I'm your host, Wolf, Gentleman Streamer, Beer Goggles 21, the excellence of an execution, and welcome to Friday, at least Friday in my corner of the world. How are we all doing? It's the end of the week, it's time to greet the weekend. I'm certainly ready to give it a go. Here's hoping that you are too. It's been a long week, folks. I did a couple of streams yesterday. Those were a lot of fun. Hopefully you catch them. The first one was Soul Calibur 6, and the second one we returned back to the world of Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes. And yeah, this is actually my final stream of the week. So let's make it count. Tonight we've got the retro Rathskeller block of the Ales and Fails Twitch stream, which means that I'll be doing a retro game. And in terms of retro games, I've been playing either, let's see, well, what I'm playing tonight, Radical Dreamers, and I've also been playing Super Metroid. So I'm playing them on alternative weeks. So if you want to see Super Metroid instead, tune in next week or tune in to last week's stream. But I think this is the first time that I've returned to Radical Dreamers since I left on my vacation. So it's going to be interesting. I remember a few things what I did last time, but mostly what I remember is dying a lot. But that is actually not something that's abnormal for the Ales and Fails Twitch stream. You've got two things guaranteed: Ales, and except of course if you've got loggers. The other thing that you got guaranteed is fails. So that's part for the course, unfortunately. As I recall correctly, I kept jumping into this blood circle or something up to that effect, and I didn't know the right combination. So tonight we're going to find out what that combination actually is, and we're going to move forward, ideally, into the final battle of the game. And that's actually why I called this stream Lynx's 9 Lives, because Lynx, by all accounts, is the final enemy of the game, and I can only assume that he's going to stay the final boss of the game. But before we go into business, let's go ahead and talk about what's on tap tonight, and I'm very much looking forward to this one. This one is by Maui Brewing Company, which of course is a Hawaiian brewing company. And this one is called Makina Cloud. I'm assuming Makina is a Hawaiian word. At the very least, I understand that that's what it means. This is a limited release beer. According to the can, crafted with passion from the heart of paradise, we are innovative and independent brewery. Welcome to the Ohana. And of course, Ohana, if we also Lilo and Stitch, it means family. Much like the Fast and the Furious once said. And double dry hopped with Amarillo, Eldorado, and Citra Cryo hops. This beach-worthy juice bomb is brimming with tangerine and ripe stone fruit character. So whatever is inside this can, at the very least, we're entitled. We're guaranteed something fruity. But you might be asking yourself, exactly what exactly is this hazy IPA you're talking about, Ales? I seem to know what an IPA is, but hazy IPA, is this some sort of crazy moniker? Is this weather related? I don't like the rain, Ales. Maybe let's stop right there. And to that I say, whoa, relax, buddy. A hazy IPA is different from a West Coast IPA. And I'm sorry that I keep pulling on my goggles. It's just the fog sometimes. It's a bit much. So a hazy IPA is different from a West Coast IPA. A West Coast IPA is what most people know as those very bitter beers that only, I was about to say only frat boys like, but that would be unfair to them. I am sorry, frat boys. They are very bitter beers, and that's because their hops are forward. Essentially, you pitch the hops in as the brew is boiling, and that allows for the hops to release a lot of bittering agents. A hazy IPA, on the other hand, largely uses its hops during the fermentation process past the boiling process, and so what that allows for the beer to absorb is not the bittering agents of the hops itself, but rather the aromatic and the flavor notes of the hops themselves. And of course, a lot of the hazy IPAs are made using hops that are largely considered tropical in flavor. So a lot of them will taste a little bit more like tangerine, pineapple, orange, sometimes grapefruit if you really want to add that bitterness back in. But yeah, they are quite flavorful. They are really juice bombs. The other nice thing about them is that while West Coast IPAs are actually crisp and clear, hazy IPAs, as you can imagine by their name, are actually very cloudy in nature, and that's largely because they are unfiltered, and the filtering process is generally what removes a lot of the sedimentation that happens during the fermentation process. So sometimes you'll get a little bit of that yeast in your concoction. It's actually quite it's a very different take using the very same ingredients. Hazy IPAs, I almost feel like they shouldn't have called them that. I feel like people sometimes judge them before they even taste them because of that. But trust me, they are very different beasts. They are like, what do you call them? Possums and opossums. Completely different animal, folks. Oh, did I say that? So let's go ahead and open this one. Let's see. It's one of these cans. You ever go through that process where you try to open a can and so the lip of the can is just way too close to the actual top of the can, and so you really have to dig your nail in there in order to actually get to it, and in the process you might hurt your nail. I actually keep very short nails, and on that note, I've got new gloves today. I really like them. Look at this. So let's go ahead and pour this one. Let's see how cloudy it actually is. And I can already sense aromatic notes of tropical quality. Certainly some citrus there as well. Let's go ahead and properly smell this. It's got that musty nose, although it's still sweet, very citrus. And whenever I say musty, I'm not suggesting that it is, like a wet rag or something like that. It's more like I would like to find some sort of way to describe like a good fermentation smell. Lots of things ferment. We eat lots of things that ferment, but fermentation is generally not associated with flavorful things, and beer is the one place where I think we can try to begin to change that. Of course, we've got things like delicious cheese, wine, our sister beverage. Anyways, it's got a very delicious fermentation nose there. Fang a nail, dear viewer. And actually a pretty robust body. I want to say definitely a 2.5 out of 5 in terms of robustness. Very good foam head. I can already see some sedimentation there. Very good citrus notes. It's not bitter like a grapefruit, but it's certainly citrusy like a tangerine, in the sense that it's got a little more sweetness and just very slight citrus notes. Reminds me a little bit of a Belgian wheat beer, which are generally styled to be a little more citrus. And yeah, some slight bittering notes at the end though, but it's not like hops themselves. It's almost as if you took an orange and you kind of just like bit into like a tiny piece. At the end, you kind of crushed it and you kind of just like rubbed it against your palate. It's got like almost like an earthen citrus kind of orange peel flavor to it. I was really looking forward for some pineapple notes. I really love pineapple in my hazy IPAs, but this one is, I guess, good to close by with the tangerine notes. So Machina Cloud, if you catch it out in the wild, I suggest you taste it. Of course, it's a limited release, so who knows when they might release it back. I do love it when beers decide to call something a limited release and yet they're gonna release it all the time. Before we close the book on Machina Cloud, let's see what Untapped has to say on it. in case it actually has anything worthwhile to say. And let's go back to this guy over here. So a hefty 6.6% ABV, the devil's number. Hazy IPA brewed with Amarillo, Eldorado, and Citra hops. And actually that's almost as uninformative as the can itself. So not much there to go on. So I'll tell you what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna update my ticker so that newcomers to the stream know exactly what I'm drinking, and I'm going to fill in my entry for Untap, and I'll see you on the other side of this very short break to play some Radical Dreamers. Okay, and we are back. The ticker is updated just in case anybody who pops in and they want to know, hey, what is first of all, why is that guy wearing all this pink? And second of all, what is he drinking? I'm not sticking around if I don't know exactly what the nature of his beverage is. So that's why that's there. Let's go ahead and play some Radical Dreamers. I don't believe we've been using some save states, and because this is actually the version released on the Switch along with the Chrono Cross remake, this does not actually sustain save states. I wrote a note to myself before I before I left on vacation. Viewers of the last Radical Dreamer stream will recall that I died about 3 times in the Blood Circle location. And I kept racking my brain. What exactly is wrong? What am I doing wrong here? Did somebody tell me what the secret code was at some point, and I didn't write it down? And you know what? That's exactly what happened, because I was looking at a walkthrough of this game, and it said that the Griffin, which we encountered in one of the rooms and defeated, actually gave us the hint to that. So I'm going to do something here that I've never done before. We're going to do a first in the Ales and Fails Twitch stream. I'm going to pull up my stream from from that last time that I played. We're going to pull it up right here. And we're going to watch what the Griffin exactly said, because because we actually need to know the truth. You know what? That's a bit big.
Rock! Please! Kid kept
Let's
on
go over here.
The griffin kept on shrinking away. Enough! McGill called.
Now that is some
Stop.
top-notch
Let's hear
quality voice acting.
Oh, thank you, kind sir. The griffin was beside itself with relief.
Okay.
Spoiled my fun, wouldn't you? Grumbled Kid, pouting as she turned away. Listen well, O merciful savior.
Wait a second. Okay. Okay, wait. I think this is it. You know what? I'm also wearing the same exact goggles, so that's weird. I guess I have a preference for wearing heart-shaped goggles during Radical Dreamers streams. That's interesting. Let's write that down.
Thrice, left twice, right twice. I think we need to remember that one.
See, I also told myself to remember that, but for some reason I didn't. That was a big oversight. Okay, so right 3 times, left twice, right twice. I'm gonna just pin that right over here back on my screen. And I think we have solved the mystery. And you ask yourself, you know what, Ailes? I feel like you could have just looked that up on the net instead of pushing us and like having us rewatch this stream. And to that I said, yes, you're exactly right. All right, let's get on this. Oh, you know, the other thing that I forgot is actually I need to pull up my map for this manor. Give me just a second here, folks. Technical difficulties. Let me pull this over here. And I love it when I just randomly pull up screens on my... Oh, here it is. Okay, perfect. So, like I said, I generally don't very well remember exactly what the layout of the manor is. So I kind of like to just have a handy map as I'm navigating it. I think that looks good. Yeah, right there. Okay. And that is way too much. Okay, cool. It's almost as big as my head. Okay. We continued onward, past where the stairs in the side passage emerged into the main corridor. We found ourselves in front of some ornate double doors. This was the main hall of the manor. And I don't actually recall where we are. Maybe this is where we're supposed to go? We went inside. Kit pushed open the heavy door as quietly as she could and peered inside. Ah, those doors are creepy. Looks like the coast is clear. We stepped into the main hall. I should have done a kid voice for that. Dozens of candles provided a dim, flickering light, sending the corners of the room dancing in and out of shadow. The great hall was filled with a heavy silence, a silence unbroken save for the ticking of a large clock that slowly counted the passage of time, as if waiting for something. Several portraits glared down at us with cold eyes. We moved through the feeble glow of the candles. Third candlestick from the left, whispered Kid. 1, 2, 3, there. She reached toward it. I held my breath as I watched. Say your prayers, Lynx. We're coming for you. Kid turned the candlestick. The room trembled with a sudden rhythmic rumbling sound, as if a massive gear was turning. What's that? For a moment. Excuse me, too much beer. I am not about to suggest that is not the first beer that I've had tonight, but I do keep a lot of things to myself. It sounds like an air turbine in there. For a moment, I felt a strange sensation, as if I was floating. Do you feel that? I started to stagger. The entire room seems to be moving downward, came a reply from Magda. I couldn't quite believe it, but I also couldn't deny the feeling of downward motion. The main hall was sinking into the earth. Some were going underground, and then another rumble. The room's descent rapidly accelerated. A cold sweat dripped from my back. My heart filled with a mixture of fear and anticipation. What was waiting for us down there? The frozen flame, our prize at the end of this little adventure. But what was it, really? Would it live up to our expectations? I tightened my fists, which were slick with sweat. What were Kid and Michael thinking? The room remained veiled in silence. I am glad that noise is over. And I vaguely remember this. As if in response to my thoughts, a quiet voice came from next to me. Sometimes It was Kid. I looked over to see her standing stiffly, staring forward with her hands clenched into fists. Sometimes I feel like I'm stuck in a losing battle, a fight I'll never win, no matter what I do. It was a side of her I'd never witnessed before. Even from this angle, I could see fear and doubt flickering across her face. I felt a tender sting in my heart. We'll win, I promise. There's nothing to worry about. We'll win in the end, I promise. Ha, Drongo. She gave a gentle smile. Can't promise anything like in this world, Surge. There are no guarantees. But thanks anyway. She grinned again, seeming a little embarrassed, then looked me straight in the eye. And then I had the strangest sensation. This wasn't Kid, or not the only kid anyway. I was overwhelmed by the inexplicable oddness of the idea. She noticed immediately, of course, and our little moment was over. The kid I knew was back in the room. Trying to catch flies, mate? Sorry, it's just that for a moment there it felt like you were someone else. What are you on about? Kid gave me a confused look, tilting her head. It must be because we are drawing near to the frozen flame. Maggle's voice, as soft as ever, stepped unbidden from the shadows. What the heck are you two on about? Kid turned towards him with another puzzled frown. There's another self within you, struggling against the pull of the abyss. What has she been talking? A crash split the silence as if we'd collided with something. Skrrk! A loud metallic scraping filled the air. The room rocked and finally came to a halt. Looks like the end of the line. All change. The swelling grandeur of the organ suddenly filled the air. No one had so much as touched it, and yet the keys and the paddles were moving by themselves. The melody it played was both unsettling and sad. Funeral time is a way to greet your guests. Kid took a long stride forward, then turned to face me and Magil. Come on, let's go. Magil and I gently nodded our assent. Kid grinned, then turned back to the door. I'm coming for you, Lynx. This is the end for you. And with that, she led us from the hall. Hey, things are getting heated. We continued down a long, dark corridor, the walls slick with condensation. And honestly, at this point, we probably don't actually need the map. We'll just leave it over there, though. The air was thick and heavy, as though ripe with the stench of death. Were we really getting close to Lynx's hidden vault at last? And what was there any turning back now? For any of us? There was something strange about Kid that night. Maggle didn't seem to be his usual self either. To begin with, it was vanishingly rare for him to speak so much, let alone to show any kind of emotion. What happened to make them change like that? Unable to take the silence anymore, I decided to speak. I had to ask the question that had been on my mind all this time. What is the question on my mind? Hey kid, why do you want the frozen flame so badly? All I got in reply was the cold echo of her footfalls. I should have known. She didn't like to talk about her reasons for doing things. After all, it was a topic that was likely to lead to discussion of their past. But then she spoke, though it was almost a whisper. I'm doing it for Sis. Before she died, she told me to find a frozen flame and bury it. Bury it where? Her old mate's grave. Kid looked at her feet as she walked. She wasn't my real sister, but she was as good as family to me. When she took me in, I was bloody helpless. Couldn't remember a thing, and I was barely old enough to survive on my own. She didn't go into too much detail about who her mate was. Best I can remember is... Sorry, I guess she's still talking. Best I can remember is that I needed to find the grave of a girl who married another mate of hers and died not long after. And the shadows of Chrono Trigger there. She said that's where the frozen flame should be, laid to rest, or something like that. To be honest, I wasn't paying much attention at the time. It's not like I could have known what was about to happen. When she disappeared and I realized she wasn't coming back though, I sure I'd make good on what she asked me to do. I had nabbed the frozen flame from that rat bastard Lynx and get my revenge. Kid's eyes almost seemed to glow with heat in the cold night air. I'll make him pay for everything he's done. No matter what it takes, even if it kills me. And then she fell silent. Sorry, kid. I didn't mean to bring up something so painful. There was a pause before she replied. Nah, you're alright. I should have said something sooner, before I roped you into this. Sorry. Silence reigned supreme as I fumbled around to try and find something to say in reply. But all that filled the darkness of the corridor was the sound of yet more footsteps. Suddenly, Magel stopped in his tracks. Wait. Huh? Kid turned around, puzzled. Just then, a powerful light surged across the floor, and a ring-shaped sigil appeared. And this is the trial, folks. This is what separates the men from the boys. Yeah. Damn it, a blood circle. Kid and Magel were at least quick enough to try and jump clear. And so, just gotta remember my notes from before. Okay. But they weren't quite quick enough. The three of us were trapped in a circle of blinding light. Here we go. Last time on the carousel. The sigil rotated left and right with us at the center, cutting off all routes of escape. Gah! We're trapped. A wall of heat and wind blew up around us, and swirling lines and spirals of light assailed us where we returned. Don't let the light mesmerize you. Cover your eyes, shouted Magil, raising a hand over his mask. Turn with the light, not against it. There has to be a way out. And this is what led me to think that I should follow what the sigil's graphics are actually doing, which I don't believe can actually be followed. I think it's actually a pretty random rotation. What? I barely understand what's going on. Kid's elbows brushed against the wall of light surrounding us, sending sparks flying. Be careful, merely to touch it is more than enough to harm you. Stay well back. I slowly turned my body to follow the beams of the ring of light, looking for a gap to escape through. right 3 times. 3 steps to the right. There, I see it. That's our way through. I found the gap in the wall flag, carefully walked through it. Kid, Mago, this is the way. We managed to get through the barrier unscathed. But we weren't out of the woods yet. There was still another wall of light swirling with a great wind in front of us. I slowly turned my body to follow the movements of the ring of light, looking for a gap to escape through. Left twice. 2 steps to the left. There, I see it. That's our way through. I found the gap in the wall of light and carefully walked through it. Kid, Mago, this way. We managed to get through the barrier unscathed. But we weren't out of the woods yet. There was still another wall of light swirling with a great wind in front of us. I slowly turned my body to follow the movements of the ring of light, looking for a gap to escape through. Turn right twice. 2 steps to the right. There, I see it. That's our way through. I found the gap in a wall of light and carefully walked through it. Kid, Mago, this way. I think that's it. That's all the Griffin told us. I'm glad we caught that stream. Suddenly, my body felt light, and I staggered 2 or 3 steps forward. We were back in the deserted passageway we'd been walking down before the blood circle had appeared. Can I actually save here? I'm gonna say probably not. Oh, that's unfortunate. The sigil had vanished from the floor, and everything was silent as if nothing had ever been amiss. And then I looked up. Looks like we finally made it, boys. Kit strolled up the door with a wicked grin on her face. The true frozen flame awaits. Mago's eyes gave a glint from behind his mask, like glass catching moonlight in the darkness of night. Let's go. Kit reached for the handle. Can I save here at least? Ah, man. That sucks. Maybe not. So this is the place, huh? Kid narrowed her eyes, straining to see our surroundings in the darkness. Okay. I think we're right in front of it. A vast, pitch-dark, black expanse surrounded us whichever way we looked. It was as if we'd entered an impossibly vast cave. We were in a place forgotten by time, unknown to the world, hidden deep within the bowels of night. A gentle crimson light hovered in the darkness. The frozen flame! Alright, now it is ours. The light of the flame ebbed and waned gently, as if responding to Kid's voice. What the heck is this place? There's mountains of bloody rubble everywhere. Mago took a step further into the room and said in a whisper that was almost a groan, No, it can't be. Ah, but it is. The ruins of the Lost Kingdom of Mages. The voice drifted down through the darkness from above. Kid looked up in shock. Is that him? Lynx, I'll kick your flea-bitten ass so hard you'll kiss the moon. Kid pulled her knife from her belt and threw it as hard as she could. That's not a good idea. It fell to the floor with a clang, as if knocked out of the air by some unseen hand. Still, the same impetuous child as ever. I see. There's no way to greet an old friend. Smarmy bastard! Kid gritted her teeth with rage. Let's give him a slightly more pompous voice. I think I like that. And you, Shadow Dweller, I'll have none of your tricks this time. You must think me a fool if you believe I'll fall for that again. Mago, who had been quietly slipping into the darkness that surrounded us, stopped dead in his tracks. So this was the infamous Lynx. And that is nothing like the Lynx from Chrono Cross. Kind of looks like he has whiskers, but he looks a little more like Jafar, to be honest with you. The lord of this deadly manor. The man who had murdered the closest thing Kid had to family. Who had assassinated General Viper and eradicated the order of the Acacia Dragoons. A pleasure as always, my dear Kid, and I must say, you followed the trail of breadcrumbs I laid for you admirably closely, my greedy little sneak thief. What the bloody? She stepped forward, bristling. Lynx narrowed his eyes as his lips twisted into a snarl. You know what I want, Kid. Give me the stone you carry. The stone? Did Kid have some kind of jewel I didn't know about? Peh! Don't know what you're on about, mate. She just about managed to recover her composure, narrowing her eyes scornfully at her old foe. Spare me the act, child. I know what you have it. I know she gave it to you. Hand over the time egg now. The what? Whatever it was. I'd never heard of it. Just fixing my camera a bit over here, folks. I think it's a bit off center. I like things to be in perfect symmetry. I like that. I think that's good. It's probably okay. Details. You're dreaming if you think I'll give it to the likes of you, Kid shot back. It's all I have left of her. I'll never let go of it. Not for anyone. And definitely not for you. I'll tell you what's gonna happen, you bastard. First I'm gonna take the frozen flame, and then I'm gonna ram it down your throat. Incorrigible fool, young fool. I was hoping this might be a civilized exchange. Alas, it seems my words will only fall on deaf ears, and you are determined to repeat your past errors. Lynx moved his hand to the grip of the ornate golden saber that hung from his belt. Last time I showed you mercy and let you leave with your life. That was a mistake, one which I mean to correct. Surge, Magill, stay back! What is she doing? Kid took a step forward, glaring at Lynx, her gaze unflinching. This ends here and now. You'll pay for what you've done. You'll pay for what you did to Luca. With a scream, Kid leapt into the air like a bird taking flight. Her foot lashed out in a scything kick aimed right at the side of Lynx's head. There was no contact, where Lynx had been mere moments before. Now there was only empty space. Kid landed and immediately launched herself back into the air, putting the full force of her momentum into another kick. This time Lynx leaned back, letting Kid's foot swing past only a hair's breadth from his nose. This is not going well. And then it was Lynx's turn. He lashed out with his saber, carving an arc through the air in front of him. Kid was ready for him, however, and had already jumped back to a safe distance. The two glared at each other from mere footsteps apart. At least you had the decency to prepare a little better than last time, Lynx murmured. A red line appeared on Kid's cheek, slowly coalescing into a trouble. Kid! In a flash, she launched herself into yet another attack. Lynx dodged to the side and made to strike her with the hilt of his saber. Kid moved awkwardly to avoid the attack, losing her footing. And then Lynx was on her like a bird of prey before she could fully recover. There was a gasp and a cough as Lynx drove his knee into the pit of her stomach. Kid collapsed. A steady stream of red dripped from her lips. Will that be all, girl? Lynx gave Kid a merciless kick to the side, sending her flying. She landed on a pile of rubble, her body rolling until she hit a large stone pillar, and there she lay, lifelessly still. Kid, Kid! I screamed her name as I charged towards Lynx. But Maggle was there already. He flew through the darkness, a part of the shadows, before crashing down on Lynx like a bolt from the blue. Lynx jumped back, and countless threads of light flew from her fingertips toward Maggle. With a droning hum, the threads of light surrounded Maggle, crossing over one another. They spread to form a lattice of light that gave off a blinding glare and trapped Maggle where he stood. Maggle staggered and groaned, attempting to shield his eyes with his hands. It is a simple enough spell, my shadowy friend, for those inclined to learn it, and one which, sadly for you, leaves no darkness in which to hide. Lynx leered at Maggle with a venomous grin. You've been quite the thorn on my side. I'll let you live long enough to regret it. Maggle struggled and groaned. I had to do something. Kid and Maggle needed me. But what was I gonna do? I'm gonna go save Kid. Kid! I ran over to where she lay. She was flat out, still collapsed where she had fallen, and blood still ran from her mouth. Kid, say something! I crouched down next to her, glancing at her face in a panic. She groaned, and then she began to stir her face twisted with pain. I mean, honestly, my first thought there was, if these guys couldn't do anything against them, I don't think I'm a better fighter of either of them, so I best provide some support here. Surge! It's okay, kid. I'm here. How touching. Although I would be more concerned about my own well-being if I were you. The voice came from behind me. It felt as if ice water had been poured down my neck. I jumped to my feet and turned around. Oh no. Lynx was looking down at me with a cold, emotionless stare. Any friends of Kid's is certainly no friend of mine. Forgive me, but I cannot permit you to leave this place alive. Before I realized it, his hand had shot out toward me. His claw-like fingers clamped around my throat. I couldn't breathe. Tightening his grip, Lynx lifted me bodily until my feet were dangling in the air. I could feel his talons mercilessly digging deeper and deeper into my neck. Panic filled my mind. No, kid, see your friend. See him suffer. This is your doing. This is your hand around his neck. Kid's breathing was ragged, and blood still dripped from her lips. Open in an eye, she groggily raised her head. But she couldn't get up. She didn't have the strength. Surge! Give me the time egg. Do you even know what it is? I suspect not. Think of it as a concentrated pocket of space. Oh, wait a second. This is actually Lynx. Give me the time egg. Do you even know what it is? I suspect not. Think of it as a concentrated pocket of space. Okay, I honestly don't know who's talking. Let's go with neutral. With a frozen flame and the time egg in hand, one can bend the fabric of space and time and rewrite the past. There are errors that I need to correct. Mistakes in the past that must be set right. Okay, so I guess that was Lynx speaking all along. Lynx's narrow, emotionless eyes returned to my face. How long before he perishes, I wonder? I struggled to breathe, but could only make choking sounds. Kid screamed my name. Decide, will you watch the boy die, or relent? Does this life mean nothing to you? I can't. She balled her hands into fists and dropped her gaze. My vision started to fade. And then I heard her voice as she struggled to speak through the pain. I'm sorry, Serge, but I swore I'd sacrifice anything to stop Lynx. Don't worry about me. It was all I could do to force the words out past Lynx's icy grip. I was starting to black out. Was this really how it was going to end? I couldn't ask her to just give him the thing to I go. Ah, for crying out loud, fine, you win. Here, have your damn rock. Lynx's grip on my throat loosened. This is no good. Groaning with pain, Kid reached a shaky hand into her shirt. I knew you would come around in the end. Lynx threw my body to the ground, then walked over toward her. Just shut up and take it, you bastard. It's all you deserve. With all the strength she could still muster, Kid lashed out at Lynx with her right hand. Gah! He leapt back in a desperate attempt to evade the blow. Did she just attempt to throw it at him, or what happened there? But it was too late. Kid's nail, sharp as a cat's claw, raked mercilessly into his face. Oh. Lynx roared with pain. He staggered, clutching his left eye. Blood oozed through the gaps in his fingers. You wretched little shit of a girl! Lynx stood awkwardly, still clutching at the wound on his face. The fingers on his free hand arched into furious talons as he walked towards Kid, who still lay on the ground. I will kill you all! He kicked her hard, concentrating all his wrath and venom into the blow. Kid gasped as all the wind was knocked out of her, yet more blood ran from her mouth as her body rolled across the floor. I think this is it, folks. Okay. Kid, I yelled hoarsely, clutching my burning throat with one hand. Lynx turned his head slowly to look at me, one eye fixing on me coldly as it came to view. He took a step toward me. Yes, perhaps it would be better to start with you. My dear Kid, rest assured that your friend's death will be a most elaborate and painful one. You will truly know what it means to suffer, boy. I will put you through the same suffering as I did that Luca woman. Kid's body stirred with shock and horror. Her eyes slowly opened, fixing on Lynx. They were wild eyes, stained with the blood that poured from her bow. Gritting her teeth, she staggered to her feet. Lynx! Lynx! And then an explosion of light burst forth from the frozen flame. What? Another light began to form from somewhere near Kid's chest, resonating with the light from the frozen flame. The twin lights entwined, twirling slowly upward. And as it rose, the golden spiral spread. No, this can't be! Lynx stood motionless, transfixed by the spectacle. Was this Timex power? Kid screamed as a raging blaze of light engulfed her. I'll never let you do it again. I'll never let you steal from me again. Bathed in the glow, her body shook. Blood-red tears dripped from her eyes as they took on a distant look. And then she collapsed to the ground as if the life had gone out of her. I heard a voice. It was quiet and still, like the evening. It has come to pass. Kid is retracing her lost memories back through time, back to the Lost Kingdom. And I guess this is the revelation. It was through her power that the kingdom fell, that it was swallowed in the all-encompassing vortex of time. In her grief, she wished to disappear. Her past, her future, she wanted it all to sink into the void, to be lost into the seething whirl of time. She despised what she had done. She closed herself off from all that she saw and heard, and cursed her very existence. But the stone wished for her to live. The hands of her clock were rewound, her memories unraveled. The stone gave her a chance to begin again. The stone had both the power and the will to bring all this about. Sinking through the sea of time, she drifted here, a mere babe, her memories a blank slate. The time egg shattered, its fragments raining down on the world, becoming shards of sorrow and anguish. The world around us drifted into pieces. It swallowed us, engulfed us. We were consumed, locked into the void. And then, a girl's scream echoed in the darkness. That voice was that kid. It sounded just like... No, this is all wrong. The black vortex, it surrounds us. No, stop! Who's talking? Water. Where are we? Space? Evo, the search for Eden? Where am I? I have lost everything. And now I can but wonder. The world drifts and time's a blur. There's only an endless, unknowable sea. This is where time begins and ends. This is where all life finds peace. I see myself as a baby, crying next to my mother, an exhausted yet proud look upon her face. I see myself aged and wizened, waiting to succumb to death's embrace with a smile. I see countless incarnations of myself, walking time's intricate corridors as ghosts. This is a place where countless worlds overlap and infinite dreams play out. If only I could rest here for eternity. If only I could free myself of all my burdens to sleep here in this sea of dreams. But I hear it calling. I hear the song. Kid, please. Can you hear me? Kid, say something. Kid, you gotta stay with me. Who's that? Who's calling me? Serge? Where am I? Kid, you're awake. I heard a song. It was beautiful. It was that song that Luca loved. Kid closed her eyes and her face glowed with a warm smile. I'll never forget that song. It makes me want to cry whenever I hear it. I'm just glad you're back. It felt like I was losing you, like you were going somewhere far, far away. Before I knew it, I was humming the song for you. I don't know if I ever mentioned it, but I wrote it when I first started out as a musician. I knew you liked it, so I... Kid gave a gentle nod. It was you. You were the one who called me back. That was you calling me name. Thanks, Serge. It's okay. It's okay now. I'm back. Suddenly, she gasped with pain. Lynx's saber had plunged deep into her right shoulder. And towering over us was Lynx himself. This guy is not out yet. Oh, come on, guy. I told you, kid. I told you I would kill you. She had no strength left to fight. What was I gonna do? I threw myself over Kid's inert form. I had
Ha! You rushed needlessly to your grave, boy. Lynx glared coldly at me with his remaining eye. Alas, your time has come. He raised his saber high, preparing to strike. Enough! Stunned, we looked towards the intruder. You! There stood an old crone, her wizened features obscured by a heavy hood. How had she made it all the way down here? Lady Vera, what have we done to bring poor Magister General running, I wonder? He growled. I think this is the lady that we met at the clock tower. It's been far too long, Lord Lynx. Pity that I seem not to have caught you at your best. The crone met Lynx's mad stare head on. I will take the frozen blame. After all, it seems you two have been quite unable to decide which of you should have it. She raised a hand and armed soldiers poured into the room. Maggie lifted Kit to her feet. This seems like a good time to leave. Lynx snarled. You'll regret this, you witch. He kicked off from the floor and his body rose into the air. Then he turned his venomous glare on us. And you, kid, you'll pay for this with your life soon enough. You will never be safe from me. With that, he disappeared like a puff of smoke. The crone lingered for a moment, her eyes resting on us. Kid, if you wish to try and steal the frozen flame again, you're welcome to try it anytime you please. We'll be waiting. But you'll have to get out of here alive first. The soldiers drew their weapons and fell upon us. Darkness, heed my call. With Kid slumped against it, Magel spread his arms and drew a sigil in the air. Hurry, Surge. This way. I grabbed onto him and we plunged into blackness. Did we... I feel like we lost. It's also interesting the range of things that Magil can do. I feel like sometimes he's incredibly powerful and other times he's just very helpless. But I guess it's depending on the challenge that he faces. Thanks to Magil's magic, we managed to escape the manor alive. But the lights of torches dotted the forest, and we could hear soldiers calling to one another. We stopped briefly into the darkness over the woods, and Kid leaned heavily on a tree, desperately trying to quiet her ragged breathing. It was terrible wound she'd suffered, and it seemed to be taking its toll. Are you okay, Kid? Yeah, don't worry about me, mate. We're surrounded. It won't be long before they find us, said Magil, his eyes cautiously scanning the area. Kid raised her head to look at me. It's me and Magil they want. Get out of here, Surge. It's us they want, not you. What are you saying? I'm not leaving you here. Look at you. You can barely stand. It's nothing I can't handle. And besides, I've got Magil with me. If they catch you with us, they won't go easy on you. But I remembered everything. I remember another me. A me from a long time ago. Slowly, Kid averted her gaze, looking up at the night sky. I have to go. The stars reflected in her eyes, and suddenly she looked like nothing more than an ordinary young girl with a sad, distant expression on her face. Kid, don't worry, Serge, I'm okay. We'll meet again. Kid smiled. We'll meet again somewhere, someday, sometime. Promise. Her eyes closed gently. I didn't manage to I didn't manage to nick the frozen flame in the end, and I lost the time egg too, the only thing I had left of Lucas. But it's okay. Everything's gonna be okay. There's something inside me that shines brighter than any stupid jewel. The most important thing in the world. She opened her eyes again and fixed them on me. I could have lost myself in their depths forever. No one can take it from me, not for as long as I live. There was nothing else in the world There was nothing else in the world I wanted but this. I doubted I'd ever want anything again. I only wanted this moment. All the clocks in the world could have stopped right then and there for all I cared. And that was exactly what I wished for as I gazed at her. Goodbye, Serge. And thanks. She looked down, then turned away and disappeared into the darkness of the night. Don't let her go. Would I ever see her again? Kid! Don't follow me, Serge. Please. Just don't. I strained to try and catch a glimpse of her as the last traces of her shadow vanished towards a place I might never reach again. No, kid! I leapt to my feet, meaning to chase after her, but a shadow soon blocked my path. Magill? Without saying a word, he slowly shook his head. Behind the mask, I saw a sadness in his eyes. Then the shadow withdrew and melted into the darkness. Magill? Kid? Wait! Don't leave me! I screamed into the night, but there was no reply. The black silence swallowed my cries. Kid! Kid! It's a book. And so ends another tale. Perhaps one day I'll see Kid, Magill, and Riddell again. One day, somewhere, at another time, in another world. Perhaps none of us will even realize it. But that's a story for another day. For now, I must put down my pen. I closed my grandfather's diary, and then from downstairs I heard my mother calling. Did you hear me? Your friend's here. Nimble footsteps charged up the stairs. The door flew open. In tumbled a young girl, a girl who seemed somehow familiar. Hey Serge, it's a beautiful day for adventuring. I found a run-down old manor off in the woods to the north. You want to go exploring? Come on, put the book down and let's get out of here. Was he reading his own notes of the future? Huh. That's it. Of these three figures, I'm assuming that, of course, Magill is the one that's leftmost. Kid must be the one in the center. And then the guy that looks like an unusual mage. Almost like a black mage. Just kind of had this very interesting shoulder pads going on there. That's Serge. It's kind of weird because obviously when I think about Serge, I envision the one from Chrono Cross. So it's a little difficult to get that image. But whenever I see him in pixelated form in this game, it's always just a very jarring, contrasting image. So that's fun. Kid looks moderately similar. I guess she's wearing brown. She's wearing shorts, and she is blonde, which kind of does. It is a little reminiscent of who she is in Chrono Cross. And of course, Magiel is none other than Magus, except his hair is tied into a ponytail and he's wearing a mask the entire time. But otherwise, he is very much Magus. So that's interesting. So obviously, if you don't know anything about Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross, I'll go ahead and give some spoiler notes here. But Kid is supposed to be, I guess, kind of sort of the reincarnation of Shala from Chrono Trigger, who was lost in time. And she was taken care of by Luca. Luca was murdered because Lynx wanted to take her. I guess he wanted the time egg from her, but I guess by that point Luca had given it away to Kid. And so, if I recall correctly, I don't know that and this is canon for this game, but at least the frozen flame is supposed to be a piece of Lavos, and that is why it has all this power. And so if you combine the time egg and the frozen flame, then you can undo certain things from the past. Somehow, something is happening. Okay, so I don't actually know if that's the good ending or not, but it is an ending. So I guess game complete. Okay, so we've got 1 out of 7 endings complete. Kid, the lost treasure. But of course now we have a list, which means that we should probably try and complete the rest. Now, very much like Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross, of course, Radical Dreamers has multiple endings. And you know what? I'm not going to try to go through the game on my own to try to achieve all the endings. I'm going to look up an endings guide so that I can actually go through all of these. That's a good endings guide. Game 8 might be okay. So let's go play that. Okay, so let's go through them. We're at an hour and 13, so we might be able to do a couple more. We'll see how it goes. It's kind of interesting though that I guess this is a text adventure, but in some ways it is read as somebody's memories, and that is why it is all read in that particular approach. And so it's the grandkid, but you are actually the protagonist, so it's interesting that way. I feel like I like this game a lot. For what it is, I feel like you'd probably, if you knew what you were doing, you could probably run it in an hour. And I think if you are vested into the story, it's actually quite enriching. If you're not, it is actually not great. But I think at the end of the day, I am a Chrono Trigger / Chrono Cross lore nerd, and this is kind of just like candy for me. So maybe that's why I enjoy it. I will say that the one thing that turns me off from this game is kind of just the creep factor. It's a little bit much for me. Old ales has a weak heart. That's all I say. I'm not very good with high tension, but you know what? Because it's part of the Chrono Trigger series, I'll make an exception. Okay, so let's go for Magill, Love, Folly, Elopement. And the suggestion is after falling asleep, rush after Kid and Magill, then inspect the desk at the study. Afterwards, head to Riddell's room and watch the ending unfold. Okay, I think we can do that. I don't know, should we just start a new one? What would continue do? I think we probably need to Surge is fine. Surge is just fine. Okay. This is a tech-savvy game, so here's another go at it, I guess. The old lady's tip-off was right on the money. The counterspell on the barrier around the outer walls could have done a real number on us. Kid's plain unadorned braid flicked back and forth across her shoulders as she walked. We picked our way through the elaborate lattice of magic shields, moving in closer and closer to Lord Lynx's stronghold. There were 3 of us, Kid, Magill, and me. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up the map that I had here before. There we go. And of course, the first thing that I do is close it. I watched as Kid's braid flicked back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and I started feeling very sleepy. Okay. I tried and failed to stifle an enormous yawn. And I think I'm gonna go to sleep. I think this is what differentiates a lot of these endings. You actually have to fall asleep at this point. Before I knew it, I was asleep. Surge! Oi, Surge, I'm talking to you! My head jerked upward as I snapped back to consciousness. Idiot that I was! I managed to drift off. As I came back to my senses, I looked up to see the hulking shadow of Lynx's manor looming over us. Wakey, wakey, sleepyhead. We've got work to do. Her words had hardly reached me before she jumped onto the terrace and disappeared within. Ah! Wait up, Kid! Flustered, I rushed after her. It's kind of interesting how you separate the original game from follow-up runs. A corridor stretched off to the left and right from the terrace. It seemed equally dark and chilly in both directions. Alright, where's our way in? Kid's casual comments settled our nerves. Magill quietly surveyed our surroundings. Meanwhile, I found myself distracted by how cold the sweat on my forehead felt. It was only when I reached to wipe the sweat from my brow and turned my head slightly that I happened to see it. A soft glimmer of light. At least, I thought that's what I saw. A gentle glow coming from a decorative window close to the ceiling. But as much as I strained my eyes to try and catch it again, I couldn't. Oi, Surge! You better not be sleeping on the job. We'll leave you for the guards to find. Kid and Magill were already far down the passageway. How long had I been standing there? And so, I should rush after them. A corridor stretched off to the left and right from the terrace. It seemed equally dark and chilly in both directions. And so I'm at the terrace. I should go to the study. Ah, that's a good beer. So let's go to the study. Let's go right. A short way along the corridor, running from the right-hand side of the terrace, we found an ancient-looking door, again on our right. Kit pressed her ear against it, listening for any signs of life. Dead quiet. Don't reckon anybody's in there. Let's go in. At least I think that's where the study it is. In we go. Kit stilled her breath and reached for the handle. The door wasn't locked. It swung slowly open. These doors are creepy. What's this room supposed to be? Place is a dump. Kit had poked her head in through the door, taking a quick peek to see if there was anyone inside, and was disappointed by what she found. You know, now that I think about it, I went the wrong way. I was supposed to go left. The room was large and littered with peculiar-looking machinery and knickknacks. I'm going to take a quick glance at the other endings to see if I'm actually on track to finish any of the alternative ones. Treasure vault. Okay, well, this is definitely not where I need to be. The room was large and littered with peculiar-looking machinery and knickknacks, all of which were covered in dust and had seemingly been dumped there haphazardly. I like the fact that I really wanted to save some time by just looking up the guide, and yet I am wasting time. Everything looked like it had been there, rusting for a very long time. The ends of the room were completely dark, and it was impossible to tell just how big it was, or even what the walls and floor looked like. It seemed like the manor's inhabitants had turned the old clock tower into a makeshift storage space some time ago. I stepped warily inside. Leave that alone. I looked over toward Maggio and saw Kit trying to pull something from the shadows. It was a huge sword that appeared to be very old indeed. You don't need that old bludgeon. It'll only get in the way. And as much as of an antique as it is, it won't fetch much on the market in that condition. Yeah, reckon it might, you know. There's plenty of collectors who just love old bits of junk. Well, some old bits of junk. Some old bits of junk. That was a very poor read. Pouting, Kit left the sword where she stood. At least she put it back gently. It was then that we heard a voice from the shadows. And what exactly are you doing here, I just about jumped out of my skin. Oh, that was me. I just about jumped out of my skin. Who's there? Kit and Maggie turned to face the voice, ready for a fight. I believe this is the lady that came back at the end. A wizened crone emerged from the shadows. She was hunched over and wore a hood draped over her face. I could tell at a glance that she wasn't just old, she was positively ancient. That is not nice. It's just some doddery old bag. What do you think you're doing, sneaking up on us like that? Kit's shoulders relaxed as tension left her body. Maggie, however, continued to give the woman the piercing stare. Oh, what an impish little thing you are. Here to visit a friend, perhaps. Not in the dead of night, I suspect. The crone narrowed her eyes. Let's get a closer look at you. Ah, yes, you must be here to get your revenge on Lynx. How did she... My heart jumped. She seemed to know exactly who we were. We were in trouble. What if she sounded the alarm? There's an alarm in this place. We'd have to give up on the treasure and run for our lives. What we were going to do. Uh, let's be honest with this lady. She actually never caused us any harm. So what if we are? Kid narrowed her eyes right back at the crone. What's it to you if we're here to get our revenge on old Lynxy boy? You gonna do something about it? You never change, do you? The crone chuckled madly, her small frame shaking. Ah, the boldness of youth. Yes, that's the spirit. You what? Kid looked at the crone, completely confused. I was no less mystified. What the heck are you on about? Oh, it must have been 4 or 5 years ago. Yes, it was around then that an innocent young thief stole into the manor, looking to singe Lord Lynx's whiskers. She couldn't have been much older than 10, now that I think of it. Shocked. A wet glint had appeared in Kit's eyes, but her glare was like ice. It certainly felt as if the temperature in the room had suddenly dropped below freezing. With a chuckle, the crone continued her story, pretending not to have noticed a change in mood. She was an orphan, you know. Came after Lynx to avenge a woman who'd loved her like her own daughter. But all the vengefulness in the world couldn't change the fact that she was only a little girl. She was no match for Lynx's men, sadly, and they quickly captured her. Lynx is the kind of man no one would fear to have for an ally, never mind a foe. Had it not been for the timely assistance of a friend of hers, the girl would have certainly been executed. The way people of the manor told it, the very shadows pitied the girl and rushed in to spirit her away. I wonder how much of the tale could be true. I have nothing but sympathy for those who know failure, of course. You can't win all the time. And sometimes, against all the odds, fate really can be foiled, and the clockwork of history sent into disarray. No, the ones I have no patience for are those who do not recognize their failure, or who fail and choose to give up as a result. The crone looked up from under her hood, stared at Kid directly in the face, and grinned. Kid's anger faded, giving way to a dumbfounded expression. If you wish to steal the jewel from Lynx, if you truly wish to triumph, you will have to let go of a treasure of your own, Kid. For as long as you cling onto it, the hands of your clock will never move. They'll stay exactly where they came to rest all these years ago. Who are you? Oh, me? Why? I'm just an old hag, just like you said. I do apologize, I must have taken up a lot of your time with all my babbling. I'll leave you in peace. Oh, but before I go, Crone turned to face me. I haven't gotten into a battle, so I'm not actually injured. You seem to be injured, young man. If you wish, I can take a look at your wounds. With all the attention suddenly turned towards me, I panicked a little. I'll manage. I felt like I could manage for now. Who, me? Oh, I'm fine. It's just a scratch. I could see the crone's eyes close slowly, deep into the shadows of her head. Really? Well, as you wish. But now that you should seize every scrap of help that comes your way. If you truly mean to confront the Lord of the Manor, you'll need all the support you can muster. Especially you, Surge. When it comes down to it, you'll be the only one who can save Kid and the Shadow Dweller. With that, she vanished into the darkness. Who the bloody heck was that? Kid looked like she'd just woken up on the floor of the Laughing Pig after a few too many. Well, we won't find any answers here. Time to move on. Sorry. Time to move on. Michael brought us back down to Earth, motionless as always. It almost seemed as if he thought nothing had happened at all. Yeah, I guess you're right. We left the room. That was the wrong room to drop into. Let's go back to the left. The left, folks, to the left. Okay, we took the corridor loading from the left-hand side of the terrace, eventually arriving at an intersection with some stairs. The path led right down the stairs. The path to the left was a dark side passage, and the main corridor continued straight onward. So I think we'll go to the study if we go down the stairs. Slowly, we crept down the staircase, descending deeper into blackness as we went. At the bottom, the path split. The only way to the left continued onto an atrium that resembled a sort of plaza, while the path to the right was a winding passageway that trailed off into the darkness. Well, I think I left what I needed to do. Let's go back up, I guess. The passage to the stairway was short. Why am I having such difficulty finding the study? With Kid leading the way, we started to climb the narrow staircase. At the top, we found another intersection. Taking the corridor to the right would lead us to a dead end with a large door, while the way to the left led to the terrace. The narrow side passage in front of us was open. Maybe it's a narrow side passageway? We headed down the side passage. At the end of it came an old, immaculately polished door. We went inside. Kid gently pushed the door ajar and peeked into the room. The next thing I knew, she'd slipped inside. Megal and I followed. Looks like a study. Okay, bingo. The room was lit by the moonlight coming through the long, slender windows, slanting down in a pale beams through the darkness. It was pretty big for a study, with an immaculate antique desk dominating the center. Wow, that's a lot of reading. There were rows of bookshelves lined with thick, dusty old tomes. The wall to the rear of the room was decorated with paintings, and shelves of vases and painted plates stood before it. They all seemed to be curios from foreign lands. Inspect the desk. I went over to the desk and started searching the drawers. There I found a neatly arranged set of pens, ink bottles, and other writing materials. Nothing of interest, in other words. A small portrait on the desk caught my eye. It was a picture of a young girl with a gentle smile on her lips. Who was she? That's the girl Lynx adopted. If you ask me, it wasn't cause he was looking to help the needy, said Kid, peering over my shoulder. She wrinkled her nose in distaste. Not even a looker. Riddell? Magel had appeared next to me, whispering the woman's name. He stared at the portrait in astonishment. What's up, Mag? My question seemed to break the portrait's hold on him, and as his head came up with a start, he quickly returned to his usual, emotionless self. Nothing. I probably shouldn't have even bothered asking. He wasn't exactly the forthcoming type. Time is of the essence, and we are wasting it. Let us look elsewhere. Turning on his heel, Magel made for the door. Kid and I looked at each other in confusion. What's up with him all of a sudden? Don't ask me. Hey Mag, wait for us. Okay, so we've gone to the study. Eventually, we arrived back at the intersection. Some stairs led downward, and the corridor branched left and right, with the right branch leading back towards the terrace. So, in order to complete this, we need to go to Riddell's room, which means that we actually have to go down, which is the left branch. Kate stopped in her tracks, signaling to us with a hand behind her back. She drew her knife and stared into the darkness. We heard the clinking of metal from just up ahead. Goblin guards. It wasn't likely there'd be anyone else going for a nighttime stroll around the manor wearing armor. Let's not fight. A tactical retreat. How about a tactical boot up your ass instead? Look, you're never gonna get good at thieving if you keep acting like such a bloody chicken. Having rejected my suggestion, Kit seemed to take great pleasure in putting the boot in for good measure. They won't know what hit 'em, she shouted, leaping into the battle. Caught on the back foot, I fumbled with my knife. Okay, battle time. There were 5 of them in total. They weren't any ordinary goblins, so having been well looked after this palatial manor, they'd grown even bigger than Magyar. Each of them was carrying the manor's goblin trademark, a morning shirt consisting of a rod and a heavy spiked iron ball on a chain. Wait, or is it a flail? I never could remember, and I didn't have time to think much more about it. A goblin came rushing at me, swinging his spike. The iron ball clashed into the stone tile I was standing on only moments before crushing it. Had I tried to stop it with my knife, I would have been lucky to escape with a fractured skull. Attack. I seized the opportunity and tried to thrust my knife into the goblin's chest. Only to stab it squarely in the gut. I rushed to pull it out, but before I could, the creature had grabbed my arm and its meaty fist. I looked up to see the glaring at me, a mad grin on its face. Its fangs dripped with saliva. Help your bloody self. This impertinent brush-off was all I got from my troubles. Suddenly, I was flung to the side. My back crashed into the wall. The impact knocked the wind out of me. And then, before I could react, the heavy kick smashed into my side. I was sent flying, slamming into the ground, and rolling from the impact. I coughed, leaving a splatter of blood on the floor. And then, without a word, the goblin started running for me. No, I can't move. I panicked. Had it really hit me hard enough to paralyze me? Kid! I tried to scream her name, but all I could manage was a throat. I was busy watching my life flash before my eyes when a nimble figure crashed down on top of the goblin's head out of nowhere. 2 quick steps put out the beast's eye, and then the figure landed, grabbed me, and rolled limply to one side. The black goblin kept running right past us and away down the corridor, but it hadn't gotten far before a fireball raced by me and engulfed it in a blazing flame. It was Kid who had saved me. She glared at me with a harsh look in her eyes. Bonk! And then she stuck me on the head. What have I told you about running away all the time, Serge? What have I told you about making other people do your dirty work for you? That's why you get too bloody scared to do any of your fighting for yourself. You can't expect anyone to look out for you except yourself. If you run away, you're as good as leaving yourself for dead. You got that? I nodded feebly. I was honestly trying to play conservatively. I don't think the goblin fights are really that challenging, but I kind of just... I really just want to get to Riddell's room at this point. Wait a second, what's that? There was a leather bag on the ground, containing a sparkling gem. Now we're talking. Kid's face lit up with joy. Nice find, Serge. What a beaut. Kid snatched it away, leaving me to settle for the compliment. I was starting to feel a little worse for the wear. I was going to have to be more careful from now on, or this was going to end badly. Maybe you ain't such a drongo after all. Just goes to show any old weirdo can make something of themselves if they put their mind to it. Kid's eyes glinted with mischief. We continued onward, past where the stairs and the side passage emerged into the main corridor. We found ourselves in front of some ornate double doors. I think this is Riddell's room. I could be mistaken though. Could also just be the hall the hallway with the mask of truth. Kid gently pushed the heavy doors open and peeked inside. Doesn't look like anyone's in there. It seemed to be the main hall of the manor. Why am I at the main hall? Okay. Once again, not where I need to be. This is so silly. Why do I keep not missing exactly where I need to go? There was a massive table, beautiful decorations on the wall, and thick columns decorated with sculptures of birds and beasts. Fixed to the wall in the back tower, a tremendous pipe organ like a varnished black mountain. Dozens of candles provided a dim, flickering light, sending the corners of the room dancing in and out of shadow. Several enormous portraits glowered down from high on the wall. Were these members of Lynx's family? I was busy staring at the painting depicting a young husband and wife when I realized that their eyes had turned to look right at me. Okay, they hadn't. Don't worry, this isn't about to turn into some dumb ghost story. It just looked that way because of the way the flickering lights of the candles reflected against the glossy oil paints. Obviously, probably. The place gives me the creeps. Get a load of all these ugly mugs. There's nothing for us here. Let's look somewhere else. Neither Michael or I had any objections. We left the hall and returned to the corridor. Eventually it led us to an intersection. There were some stairs going down, and to the right, a dark side passage. If we keep going straight, we'd arrive back at the terrace. So I think we need to go down the stairs. Slowly, we crept down the staircase, descending deeper into the blackness as we went. At the bottom, the path split. The only way to the left continued onto an atrium that resembled a sort of plaza, while the path to the right was a winding passageway that trailed off into the darkness. Wow! A scream pierced into the darkness, turning my blood to ice. I realized then that a pair of crazed, blood-red eyes were staring into the depths of my soul. Another fight. It was a griffin. In a panic, I tried to slip the knife from my belt, but before I could draw my weapon, the griffin had spread its powerful wings and swooped towards me with a claw-like screech. I was knocked back and sent rolling across the ground. I gasped with pain as the wind was knocked out of me. Serge, you okay? Every nerve in my body was screaming in pain. I held back the groans and staggered to my feet. I looked up to see the massive griffin in front of me. Its hellish red eyes stared down at its beak. I was going to attack, but what could I do? Almost by reflex, I jumped in close to the griffin's body. Its razor-sharp beak sliced the air over my head. I had just managed to avoid a lethal blow. As the beast's mad eyes glared at me, I desperately tightened my grip on my knife. I reversed my grip on my knife and plunged it into the griffin's neck with all my might. The griffin's body contorted with agony. Driven by the face, the griffin shook his head this way and that. I quickly pulled my knife up from its neck and pulled away to put some space between us. Don't move, Serge! Yelled the kid from behind me. Suddenly, she landed on my shoulders and leapt up into the air. Her knee crashed into the side of the creature's skull, making a crunching sound I could feel in my bones. The griffin screeched in agony, and then it turned its mad, crazed eyes towards me, where I lay on the floor having been used like a springboard. Okay, just my luck. It was going to attack. What could I do? Almost by reflex, I jumped back, but the griffin's sounds were soon followed by its head. A sharp pain ripped through my waist. Touching my wounded stomach, I managed to retain my footing and turned to face the griffin again. As the beast's mad eyes glared at me, I desperately tightened my grip on my knife. I reversed my grip on my knife and plugged it into the griffin's neck with all my might. The griffin's body contorted with agony, and then it stiffened, suddenly becoming completely rigid. Its eyes rolled to the back of its head, and it fell to the ground with an automatic crash. We'd done it. We'd actually defeated a griffin. Cool. I fell to my knees, overwhelmed by I'd just been through. Glad it was all over. Wait a second, what's that? There was a leather bag on the pouch, containing a sparkling gem. Now we're talking. Kit's face lit up with joy. Nice find, Serge. What a beaut. Kit snatched it away, leaving me to settle for the compliment. It was a mess. My body was screaming with pain, and I felt like it might pass out at any moment. If I took much more punishment from Lynx's minions, my night was going to be over pretty soon. Not bad, Serge. Not bad at all. Didn't know you had it in ya. There was a mischievous glint in Kit's eyes as she rewarded me with a few more rare words of praise. We went down the stairs and then took the passage to our right. Eventually, we came across an ornate door on the right-hand side. Okay, and this is where we should go. Something smelled fresh and pleasant. Flowers? Was it coming from inside? And so let's save right here. I'm gonna take a quick bio break. We'll get something else to drink. We'll be back in about 5 minutes or so, folks. Stay tuned. Okay, and welcome back to the Ales and Fails Twitch stream, folks. I'm your host, Ale Wolf, otherwise known as Ales, Gentleman Streamer, the excellence of in execution, Mama Ales, baby boy. And welcome back to Friday night. Hopefully yours is a cozy one. And we are here in the middle of Radical Dreamers. We've finished the game, I want to say less than half an hour ago, and we're trying to go to complete all of the alternative endings to the game. We're right in front of Riddell's door, and we assume that if we go in, we'll actually experience the first of 6 or 7 alternative endings to the game. I'm actually very interested to see what exactly gets depicted here. But before we do, of course, let's go ahead and get our next drink of the evening. Next and final drink of the evening. This one is called Viva la Beaver, which is something that we've had before. This is a Mexican chocolate peanut butter stout. And I think we've had it on stream before. Yes, we have. And this one is brought to us by Belching Beaver Brewery, which is certainly one of our favorite breweries here in the Ales and Fails Twitch stream. What is a stout exactly? Who can answer this question? You in the back. Okay, a stout is a type of ale that is brewed with certain grains that are generally darker in nature, and I believe some of those are, for example, things like crystal malts, chocolate malts. Sorry, not malts, but grains. And I think there's another one that I like to reference. Is it like a coffee grain? You know what? It's darker grains. Point of the matter is, if you were to simply brew these, you would get a porter, and a porter is not a stout. So what is the difference between a porter and a stout? Generally, it's the fact that you take the grains and you roast them to make a stout. So what happens when you roast them? Well, you throw them over an open fire of some sort, you bake them. I don't actually know how it's done, but this allows for the beer itself to gain a type of quality which is similar to like roasting a coffee. Gets a little bit of burnt. It's definitely a slightly different process, and thus when you're actually drinking it, you actually do get some of that. And I reference coffee because one of the most prominent flavors when it comes to tasting a stout is the coffee type flavor. It is not necessarily one of my favorites, but it's actually its own style. They're called breakfast stouts. I actually much prefer milk stouts, and actually Viva la Beaver is supposed to be a milk stout, and those generally get some lactobacillus compounds from lactobacillus, lactic acid. Well, some sort of lactic compound gets infused into them, which gives the stout a slightly creamier flavor. It almost makes them taste like milk chocolate. And what's nice about that is, of course, once you add peanut butter to the mix, it almost becomes like a Milo-ish type of beverage. It's actually quite rewarding, very familiar. Of course, there's not just milk stouts and coffee stouts. There's things like oatmeal stouts, which are very delicious. They're their own popular category, and they are very similar to cereals. You've got pastry stouts, which are some of my favorite beers out there. They're actually quite sweet. and they're generally developed to be closer to things like desserts. Yeah, I really wish I had a dessert style right about now. But let's go ahead and see what Untappd says on the matter in terms of this particular beer. Let me pull this over here. So a hefty 7.5 alcohol by volume. Viva la Beaver is loaded with notes of creamy peanut butter, cinnamon, and coffee. This decadent milk stout is a perfect dessert beer to finish off your meal. It is our highest rated beer, receiving numerous gold and silver medals. Sink your teeth into this liquid chocolate treat. And like I said, I've had this one before. I do like peanut butter with my stouts. Not necessarily on its own, so yeah, this is definitely one of Ale Wolf's favorite. Let me put that aside. Let's go back to our main screen once more. Okay, so let's go ahead and pour this guy. And of course, we'll probably just be very quiet as we pour this, simply because all the ales can't do two things at once. I remember back in the nascent days of this stream that I would attempt to make conversation as I was pouring beers, and a lot of the time what would happen is I would just spill, which is not something that you want to do when you're pouring beer. You're wasting some very good liquid there. And so as much as I tried to pour this properly, this one has got a very thick head. You can already sense the strong coffee notes coming from this one, which is good because I need to wake up. Wake me up, like Evanescence once said. It's almost got like a creamy aroma to it. Bang a nail, dear viewer. And that is wow, apologies for that, viewers. My throat was not ready for that. Unfortunately, when I play a game like Radical Dreamers, which is all reading all the time, my throat is just out of shape for things like this, and so whenever I encounter something new, I'll just go into a fit. But that is delicious. I loved it. It is very milky, very foamy. There's a very strong sense of peanut butter there. And the interesting thing about that is whenever you see something that's labeled a peanut butter stout, very few times will you actually taste that peanut. Sometimes you taste like a peanut roast, which is similar to a coffee stout, but this one actually, it's almost as if somebody threw like dollops of peanut butter into the vat and then saw what came out of it, and this is exactly what that is. There's some good cinnamon notes there that I failed to notice the first time I whipped this. And it's got some good sweetness on it. I taste very little coffee on it, which is good. Like I said, coffee stouts are not really my favorite, so this is actually quite delectable. In terms of body, I want to say that this is more like a 3.5/4. I think the heftier part of this particular beer actually comes from the head. Actually, now that I think about it, it's probably more like a 4 in terms of body composition. Maybe closer to a Merlot than closer to a Malbec than a Merlot. That's generally how I think about when I think about body compositions. But yeah, quite sweet. It's like a treat. I wouldn't qualify this as a sipping beer necessarily, though your mileage may vary. This is more as a accompaniment to something robust, like a good piece of meat, like a heavy piece of meat, like a good steak. Or maybe like a really
like a flavorful bread of some sort, maybe like a sweet bread even. Yeah, I would really like a sweet bread here. Maybe I'm just making excuses here. But yes, Viva la Beaver. Enjoy it. It's quite delicious. I'm gonna take a minute to update my ticker, enter my untapped entry, and I will see you on the other side of this break. Okay, and we are back. Let me go back and pull up the audio here. And we are set to go into Rendell's room. Ticker is updated. Untapped entry is on point. Oh, and welcome, friend of the stream, In I Go. How are you doing this evening? I made it to the stream. I certainly appreciate the effort, sir. Definitely a good time to have you every time you are present. How are you doing today? All right. Something smelled fresh and pleasant. Flowers? Was it coming from inside? And we are going this way. We went inside, and that is a loud door creaking. We found ourselves in a tidy, welcoming room. The knickknacks and curios dotted around the place seemed to be well loved. The stately desk and the cozy looking bed nearby, meanwhile, suggested the room's occupants was no stranger to luxury. Is there someone there? A woman's voice. We immediately hid ourselves. The woman appeared from deeper within the room. She was slightly made up and had a gentle, unthreatening air about her. It was Lynx's daughter. There she is. That rectangle of pixels reminds me of Missing Number. Strange. I'm sure I had heard someone. Luckily, she seemed not to have noticed us. I held my breath, watching from the darkness, and then I saw it. The shadows began to flicker and shake. Was it Magil? It was. He seemed to step out of thin air. The throat's not holding up. And of course, my immediate reaction is to drink more beer. As if I didn't know that alcohol was a throat irritant. Riddell was stunned at the sudden appearance of a strange man in her room. I would assume any man in somebody's room unannounced would be cause for, at the very least, surprise. We couldn't let her panic and call for help. I had to think of something to reassure her fast. These are both dumb, things to say. Evening, man. Don't mind us. We're just some friendly neighborhood thieves. I had to convince her we were the nice kind of thieves, not the kind that would leave her in a cupboard with a black eye while we made off with all her valuables. Well, to tell you the truth, we're thieves. I've come to steal your heart, milady. Where did that come from? I was making a complete fool of myself. Where did that come from? That was the creepiest chat-up line I've ever heard in my life, said Kid, aghast. Alright, why don't you introduce us then? Fine. I'm Kid, the gentlewoman thief. Stand and deliver. We were really making a mess of this. The more we babbled, the whiter Riddell's face grew. Who are you people? She was terrified. Magill eyed her compassionately and spoke in a gentle, reassuring tone I'd never heard him use before. I'm sorry that we startled you. We mean you no harm. Please, remain calm. Sorry about that. But his words had no effect. Riddell raised her voice. Thieves! Burglars! Stay away! She was about to scream for help. We had to do something. I don't want to knock her out. I yanked the sheets from her bed. Kid nodded. Good thinking. A gag's not gonna be enough. We need to wrap her up good and shove her in the cupboard. But before I could move a muscle, Magill had snatched the sheets from my hands with a menacing look. What? But if you're not, then who are you? Magill's intervention had saved Riddell's from an uncomfortable predicament, but it hadn't left her any less confused. He looked away, seemingly unable to bring himself to reply. What are you playing at, Mag? You trying to get us caught? Kid spoke in a low growl, staring daggers at Magill. His shoulders slumped. And then he took a deep breath and turned to Riddell. Riddell, you had a best friend as a child, yes? A young boy? She stared at him, lost in thought, and then her face came alive with recognition. It can't be Gilbert? Gilbert? What? You know each other? Yelled Kid in surprise, despite herself. Oh, Gil, is it really you? It's been so long. Riddell tenderly grasped Magill's hand. Well, the name fits, I guess. And the moment she did so, something in the shadows surrounding him changed. It was also sudden. I've always wondered what became of you, always worried for your sake. His voice was tender and filled with emotion. Unnerved by the sudden change in him, Kid butted in. Oi, Mag, we're here for the Frozen Flame, remember? Or is that just your nickname for this old flame of yours? The Frozen Flame? Gasped Riddell. It's true, that was my goal, until I found you. This was not the Magill I knew. A sense of foreboding came over me, and I looked over at Kid. She looked back, seemingly feeling the same way. We turned to Magil, again in silence. Our having met tonight is no less than destiny. Fate has brought us together once more. His words became increasingly passionate, making him almost unrecognizable. I started to feel like I might be losing my marbles, but I couldn't keep up with this sudden transformation. Kay was shaking her head in disbelief, equally baffled by the scene unfolding before us. But Magil's strange behavior only escalated, testing our connection with reality even further. Ever since I was a child, I have thought only of you. He said, ever since I was a child, I have thought only of you. He said, offering Riddell his hand. Okay. We'll finish this ending and I gotta switch games. This is terrible. She batted it away. Wait, no. What are you doing? This is all so sudden. I promised you, Riddell. Did I not vow that one day we would be wed? Magil was trembling with emotion. Riddell averted her gaze and I looked down at the floor. I wonder if she maybe didn't feel the same way. It was all so long ago. Just wait a moment, will you? She pleaded, shaking her head. Do you no longer like me? Came Magil's timid reply. This is so unlike Magil. That's not what I mean, Gil. It's just appearing out of nowhere and asking me like that. That our promise mean nothing to you? Riddell was clearly a little taken aback by Magil's ardor. She replied in a somewhat pained voice. This is very strange because if Magil is supposed to be Magus, and unless Riddell somehow just became an immortal, she should have been aging naturally. And so Magil couldn't have been a kid when she was a kid, unless there was time travel involved. You haven't changed. You never once stopped to think about how I feel, have you? When I baked you cookies for your 5th birthday, you gave them all away. At the village fair, you wouldn't dance with me, and these seem like pretty petty things for a noble woman to hold a grudge about. You misunderstand. I only wanted to show off what a wonderful gift you have given me. And as for the village fair, I was simply too ashamed of my dancing. Magil defended his decades-old actions as if he had been charged with a crime punishable by death. You come here unannounced with your excuses and expect me to forgive you? Now, after all these years, Riddell was clearly in turmoil. The long eyelashes glistened with tears. Did you really think you could just show up and start confessing your love and demanding to marry me? Is that how you think ladies like to be treated? Kit put a hand on Riddell's shoulder and turned her gaze on Magil. Look, mate, I get it. You two made a promise, and you've stayed true to it all these years. But seriously, she said with a disapproving frown. She didn't need to say the rest. It was clear she thought this was no way to go about wooing once intended. Luckily, before they could go any further, a middle-aged woman's voice drifted to us from deeper within Riddell's chambers. Lady Riddell, is something the matter? I heard a commotion and came running. Riddell's maid entered the room, and the color drained from her face as she laid eyes on us. Ah, milady! Riddell rushed to calm her handmaid before things got even more out of hand. Noella, don't panic. It's only Gilbert. You remember him, don't you? As soon as she heard his name, her entire attitude changed. The look of horror on her face slowly melted into a smile as she stepped closer to Magill, as one would greet a dear old friend. "Why, Master Gilbert, what a fine young figure of a man you've become." "Give me strength." Kit slumped to the floor, clutching her head in her hands. Magill, meanwhile, exchanged polite pleasantries with the maid as if nothing could have been more normal. This is a very unusual scenario. What the heck was he thinking? Neither of these are good answers. Let's go with the hostage one. I think it's a little more comical. The maid glared at me. "And who might you be?" she demanded, eyeing Kit and me with suspicion. Nobody, and we're definitely not up to anything," I stammered as the maid's eyes burrowed into me. "We're definitely not thieves," I blurted out, lapsing further into complete idiocy. Then his woods kids turned to glare at me. "You bloody idiot!" My shoulders sank with mortal embarrassment. Meanwhile, Kit sighed with frustration. "Fine, I'll deal with this." "Listen here, you old bag of bones. I'm the master thief, Kit, and I came here tonight too." But before she could finish, Noella had cut right back in. "You came here tonight to steal off with Lady Riddell, didn't you, you rascals? Goodness, I should put you over my knee and teach you all a lesson, tee-hee." "What? No, just shut up, you interfering old bag. I couldn't give a monkey's about your precious Lady Bloody Riddell. Now shut your trapping butt out, will ya?" The two glared ferociously at one another while Magill did his best to defuse the situation. "It's all right, Noella. She'll be safe with us." "Oh, Master Gilbert." He turned to Kid. "Come, we will need to move quickly." "Hang on, what?" Kid's eyes met Noella's again. They both realized what Magill had just said. "Safe with us?" "What do you mean, safe with us? You mean you're actually gonna run off with her?" Taking aback, Magill stammered. Not exactly. I... But his words were drowned out by the excited yelping. An elopement. Oh, how wonderful, how romantic. I simply must let everyone know. Now I left the room, tripping the light fantastic as she went. This has completely, changed the situation. "Magill, you conniving little... What about the frozen bloody flame?" In a blind rage, Kit seized him by the collar. Riddell too seemed less than thrilled by this development, and finally lost her temper completely. I suppose she couldn't be blamed. It was a bit unfair to hold her to a promise made when she was only a child. And besides, she was the lady of the manor. She'd be leaving a comfortable life behind. I looked at her from thought. Let's go with the leaving home. "I have absolutely no intention of leaving my home," exclaimed Riddell defiantly. "Do you want me to live like a pauper? What would Father say?" "Fear not, my love. I have saved all the funds I need to pay for the wedding, and to secure us a marital abode. As for the honeymoon, our guest will surely help with that." I've actually lost track of who's talking here. Magill turned to wink meaningfully at Kid and I as he uttered the word guests. He'd clearly made his mind up, but since when did we agree to get roped into this? Suddenly, sirens began to go off throughout the manor. That interfering old bag. This is her bloody doing. I know it, scowled Kid. In a daze, I asked Maggie what we should do. We will need to move quickly. As I said, come. Adele seemed more than a little relieved. Yes, you should probably be going. Next time you come, we can do something during the day. And you can come not as a thief, but as a friend. A friend, a friend, a friend, a friend, a friend, a friend. Maggie repeated the word friend under his breath, but was almost on the road. And finally, he lost his right. No, I will not give up. A clatter of footsteps came from the hallway. Quick, we need to skedaddle, said Kid. Maggie picked up Adele with a little obvious effort and slung her over her shoulder. I'm taking you with me. What, Maggie? You can't be serious? He stopped dead in her tracks. Adele struggled to break free. Stop that! We have to get out of here. Maggie's skin fluttered as he rushed out. Gilbert! Adele's voice trailed off into the distance. So what do we do now, Kid? We get the bloody hell out of here, that's one. Meg's blown our cover good and proper. We'll have to try another time. I guess that's the end of that. Wow, that is fast. And that's almost making me dizzy. We fled from the room as fast as our feet could carry us. Wherever we went, the manor's monstrous custodians tried to thwart us. Meg blazed right through them. It was something like they would not. And eventually we managed to escape, though every muscle in my body ached with the exertion. For a moment, the only sound in the quiet of the forest was our ragged breathing. And then, the silence was shattered by an enormous explosion. We looked up to see fireworks. I gazed at them in wonder. Wait, what's that? Kid could see something else. A row of figures were waving from one of the manor's balconies. I strained my ears and realized they were cheering too. Congratulations, Lady Riddell. May you be happy together. Oh wait, this is the fireworks. May you be happy together forever. Invite us to your housewarming party when you're settled in. And then Kid pointed to the roof of the manor, a look of horror on her face. There he stood, Lynx himself, the lord of the manor. He was crying. He's the father of the bride's blubbing like a bloody baby. We were all stupefied. Riddell, who had been crying the entire time herself, gently lifted her head. Why did you have to cause such a scene? I'm sorry, Riddell. I may have overdone things a little. With a flick of his wrist, Nagel procured a handkerchief and gently dried the tears from her cheeks. Oh, Dale, you haven't changed a bit, she giggled through the sniffles. A warm light began to appear on the horizon. Looks like the night's finally over, sighed Kid. And with no frozen flame to show for our troubles. Wow, I guess Lynx became a softie. Look, Riddell, gaze with me upon the dawn of our new life together. And that is another ending. We discover that Lynx was Riddell's secret lover all along. Imagine that. And so ends another tale. Perhaps one day I'll see Kid, Maggie, and Riddell again. One day, somewhere, at another time in another world. Perhaps none of us will have even realized it. But even that's a story for another day. For now, I must put down my pen. Alright. I closed my grandfather's diary, and then from downstairs I heard my mother calling. Did you hear me? Your friend's here. Nimble footsteps charged up the stairs. The door flew open. In tumbled a young girl. A girl who seemed somehow familiar. Hey, Serge. It's a beautiful day for adventuring. I found a rundown old manor off in the woods to the north. You want to go exploring? Come on, put the book down and let's get going. Nice. And that is another ending. So what's that? 2 out of 7? Actually skip this so we can get all the way. Okay, well, I guess it's going to play the particular. It's gonna play the credits as long as we reach any ending. Which is fine, people should be credited. I certainly wish that I could actually read this. But you know what, that's okay. So, I'm going to say that this ending, not canon. And the reason for that is that Magill is kind of an immortal in the main storyline. Magus, when he was a kid, he does not actually match up when Riddell was a kid. When Magill was a kid, he was still living in the kingdom of Zeal in 10,000 BC. So it would be a little weird for him to be searching for his sister's Shala, and then all of a sudden just taking on the form of a child and deciding to live alongside Riddell for a spell, and then decided to get married with him. It would be at the very least questionable. So there's that. I'm trying to think what would be. I don't want to read anymore. I think that has irritated my throat. So I'm trying to think what could I do to wrap up the night here. Probably just pick something random from the either the Super Nintendo or the Nintendo Switch Online. Fortunately, when I pick something random, it generally ends up being Super Mario Brothers 2. You know what? Because I love that game. So there's that. Alright, let's get it. That's not what I meant to do. I really want to save my progress though. Like I said, I want to collect all endings before leaving this game. Okay, the end. Magill, love, folly, elopement, completed. Excellent. Okay. So that is that. I think that is it for Radical Dreamers. Like I said, I I really don't want to strain my voice. Let's play something very quickly for a few minutes. Let me go on break and I'll decide off camera. How about that? We will be right back, folks. Stay tuned. Alright, and you know what, to wrap up tonight, I thought for a very long time what we could do to finish it. I was thinking Star Fox 64, I was thinking Ninja Gaiden, I was thinking Street Fighter 2, and you know what, Wave Race 64 shook out. I actually have never played this since the N64, so this should be fun. We'll do just like one of these courses, a championship run through normal. You know what? Let's not even warm up. Let's just go for it.
Select your watercraft, please.
And tried and true, Amy Stewart. I don't know how we play this. I remember I loved this game back in the day.
Welcome to Sunny Beach.
I don't think we're gonna be able to do any like stunts or anything like that. But it'll be okay.
Get ready for the first race. 3, 2, 1, go!
And for what it's worth, the thing that I enjoyed about this game is kind of just how the waves kind of just make you bob up and down while you were going through the thing. Oh, come on. No! Clearly. Oh, come on. You guys are bullies. I don't know. I thought about playing Wave Race 64, I guess, and that was my mistake. Wow, my voice definitely took a beating on that one. But I really like the music here. Alright, let me try and shut up and focus. Shut up and dance with me, as they say. Guy, what are you... It's too bad I don't have like a power slide.
You're in second.
Ah, Miles Shatter, of course.
Let it go.
Ah. Now that is a refreshing finish. Look at those water effects.
You finished
You've
second
never
and
seen
got
water
more
effects
points.
as good as that
Nice going.
since the PlayStation 2.
Move on to the next round.
Let's go for it.
Welcome to Sunset Bay.
What I really like, what I really want to get to is Drake Lake because it rhymes. It rhymes, folks. Drake Lake.
Start your engine.
Okay, let me not die. I mean, lose.
3, 2, 1, go!
Come on, Amy.
Nice. Okay. Wow. You left everybody behind. Nice. Maximum time.
Whoa, hey. I didn't even think I was gonna do that. Oh, this game is exciting. I should do this more often. Say that I'll play Radical Dreamers and actually play Wave Race 64. At the very least, I've got the proper eye equipment. Submarine. And of course the problem with Amy Stewart, or not Amy Stewart, I forget what her name is, but this character is that she gets thrown off as soon as she collides with anybody. She doesn't have a lot of weight. Hello. Oh, come on. Come on. That was good. Ah, high risk, no reward.
try.
I don't suppose I can retry here, can I? All because I tried to do that move, which I enjoyed thoroughly, don't get me wrong, but come on. I love the stunts in this game. Quite satisfying.
You've finished fourth and got 1 point. Keep trying. Move on to the next round.
Okay, so I guess you need a certain number of points to go through the next race, which is nice, but I really wish I could have just retried it. I guess most racing games from Nintendo don't really work that way anyways. Certainly Mario Kart doesn't do that. I don't think the Mario Kart ever allows you to actually repeat a race. Unless it's the first race and you just plain out lose. Ah, and that guy was Dave Mariner, not Miles Jetter. What kind of a name is Miles Jetter anyways? It's like, are you supposed to go into racing as soon as you're named Miles Jetter?
Welcome to
Drake Lake. Ah, yes. I like this, I like this.
Watch the signal. 3, 2, 1, go! Okay. Okay. Wow, you left everybody behind.
That was always my makeshift shortcut.
Okay. Maximum power. Let's go.
Oh no.
Problem. Good. Okay.
Go away, buddy.
Keep the pace.
Wow. What am I doing?
Problem. Okay.
Don't fall.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Boy, that guy sure loves his okays.
Maximum power.
No, 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 no. Hey, 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 hey. Foul play here, folks.
Hey, the final lap. Let's go.
Get out of my way. Oh, come on! That was dirty!
Nice try.
Oh, wow. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing here. What is the meaning of life? Well, there's no chance of me winning that final race. Let's see if we can actually proceed to it.
You finished fourth and got 1 point. Move on to the next round.
Barely made it there. I don't think I'm gonna win unless there's at least 2 races and every single person loses other than me.
Welcome to Marine Fortress.
I do remember I enjoyed this one though. Let's do it.
Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go! Okay.
Ooh, nice.
Wow, you left everybody behind. Don't sweat it.
I'll try.
Nice.
Oh, come on, I rolled out of control.
You've been overtaken. Nice. Okay. Maximum power.
I think if I miss enough of those, I would just get kicked out of the race.
Go for it. What are you thinking?
Oh, I shouldn't have hit that. That was hard. Of course I get swept all the way to the back. Avoid the cans. Wow. These waters are choppy. Nice. Oh, come on! Let's avoid that thing.
Go for it.
And like I said, even though she's lightweight and she accelerates very fast, it is... I thought that door was supposed to be open. Was it not? Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure I lost this race already. Oh, that's annoying.
You're in third. Not even close.
Not even close, folks. Am I out? Am I out? That was sad.
Sorry, you didn't accumulate enough points to move on to the next round. Better luck next
So
time.
what are my choices here? Needed 8 points to move forward.
Come back. Try again.
I think I need to try somebody else. Ah, sure. Alright, well that's I guess I'll choose a different racer. We'll do that.
Wave race.
Select your
So
watercraft.
not Amy
please.
Stewart today. I think his name is Ryota. I think I eventually settled into Mild Shatter though. Let's go with Mild Shatter. Let me customize. So generally I feel like I want to have a tighter grip on my controls. Can I just choose? Okay. Let's put a bit more acceleration here. Oh wait, how is grip different than handling? Let's leave handling on medium and then grip on tight. Let's see what that works for us. 6 rounds. Look at those
Welcome
cardboard
to
cutouts.
Sunny Beach.
Get ready.
Okay, I got a good feeling about this, folks.
3, 2, 1. Go! Okay. Nice, everybody.
Yeah, that's not really going to do it for us, is it? Oh, come on, get back on, dude. What are you doing?
Okay. Good.
Yeah, I clearly should have. Okay. I need to re-grip my grip.
Wave race.
Was way too loose.
Select your watercraft, please.
And I'm actually surprised that it doesn't actually show you what their thing is from the get-go. I'm gonna just go ahead with normal and see what that's like, instead of me trying to like actually finagle with it.
Welcome to Sunny Beach.
I love sunny beaches.
Get ready for the first race. 3, 2, 1.
Let's roll. Come on, Miles, let's pick this up. Oh my god, this is not good. I need somebody with a grippier grip. Wow, this is... How did I used to play this?
Okay, nice. Nice. Maximum power. What are you thinking?
Why am I wobbling all over? Okay, you know what? Let's let's do another restart. I think I need to rethink this strategy. What are my options here? Change things, few records, change conditions. No, I don't think I want to do that.
Wave race.
Honestly, I think I had the best luck with Amy. I almost feel like just going back to her. I also do like her color scheme as well. Let's just, you know what, let's give this another shot. I think I've got stronger bearings at this point.
Welcome to Dolphin Park.
And for some reason we are just
Warm-up
warming
time.
up.
Follow that dolphin.
Let's follow that dolphin, that's cute.
To start racing, select Start the Race from the pause screen menu.
Let's go.
Welcome to Sunny Beach.
I get a good feeling about this one, folks.
First race. 3, 2, 1.
As long as I don't bump into anybody, it should be okay.
Okay, everybody behind you.
I can only imagine that the announcer is like behind the commentator microphone and it's like, why am I specifically commenting on this one racer out of 4?
You're still in first.
And it won't last for long. Wow. Come on, get back up.
Hey, the final lap. You can overtake it. Don't sweat it.
Oh, second.
Way to go.
Well, I'll take it. Why is it so hard? What am I missing here? Is there like some sort of control, something that I'm not doing? Wave race 64 controls. Okay, let's see. Left, right, steer, shift your weight. It's up and down. Oh, up and down. Oh. Accelerate, soften, bounce on waves, cancel selections, slide across water. Okay, so there's a... What is slide across water? It's like a power slide?
finished second and got 4 points. Nice going.
Press the R button to slide on the water surface. I guess that's a slide itself. Okay,
Move on to the
let's see if I can just
next.
abuse that.
Welcome to Sunset Bay.
I will pretend that it is a power
Start your
slide.
engine. 3, 2, 1, go! Okay. Nice. Wow, you left everybody behind. Good. Maximum power.
And there we go, that's exactly what I wanted to do.
Out.
Get out of here, Dave Marner. Dave.
You've been overtaken.
Oh no. Amy, please, get back up. Tide is not looking good on our side. Fourth. Let's go.
Looks like trouble.
You know what? Just don't do the thing. Don't do. Stop trying to show off. Ails, you're too old for this. You're too good for this.
Hey, the final lap.
Caught some air there. Oh, come on. I was just about to shortcut it. Ah, three. Okay. Okay, so not perfect, but at the very least, we made it through.
You finished third and
Dave,
got 2 points.
my
Move
eternal
on to
enemy.
the next round.
Alright. He's the man
Welcome
to
to
beat.
Drake Lake.
It's always a man.
Watch the signal. 3, 2, 1, go! Okay. Nice. Everybody's behind you.
Let's go.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, jeez. That's not good.
Keep the pace.
Always a very unnecessary move, but I always used to do that, and so some things will never change. These are dangerous.
Final lap. Keep it up. You're about 5 seconds ahead.
Keep it straight. Gosh, these are tight. Oh, come on. Just go. Ah!
Way to go.
my parents ever question why they conceived me, they should look at this footage and say, maybe not.
You finished second.
Okay,
and
well
got
at least
4 points.
we got it.
Nice
We
going.
did it above Dave.
Move on to the next round.
All right, let's
Welcome
try to
to
place.
Marine Fortress.
Are you ready?
Not really, but here we are.
3, 2, 1, go! Okay. Everybody, up you.
Wow.
Power! You've been overtaken. Ouch! You've moved up.
No. Can you get a grip? Oh jeez, that's bad. That's really bad. I should probably avoid that jump at all costs. Amy, I love you, but you gotta get your hands on those grips. You gotta stop falling.
Hey, the final lap.
Okay, nice. Good placement. Why did you just fall for no reason? Wow. Terrible fourth. Do we even get to move forward? Probably not a good chance,
You
but...
finished fourth and got move on to the next round.
Okay, somehow we made it across. But if we place fourth in the next one, it is unlikely.
Welcome to Port Blue.
At the very least, we'll get to see Port Blue.
Have a good race. 3, 2, 1, go!
Ooh, a helicopter.
Good. Nice. Everybody, behind you. You've been overtaken.
What an industrial area to actually navigate through.
Nice.
Oh no.
Overtaken. You're around 3. Get behind. Moving up. Okay. Nice. Nice.
Oh no.
Problem.
Okay. Go. Oh, we missed another one. Whew. Okay. Get out of my way, Dave.
Amy, what are you doing? Oh man.
Nice try.
We didn't have like a major mishap, but fourth still.
You finished fourth and got 1 point. Move on to the
Oh
next
gosh,
round.
I'm surprised. Okay, sure. This is our Alamo here, folks.
Welcome to Southern Island.
Southern Island. I need to at least be second for this one.
This is the final round. Good luck. 3, 2, 1, go!
I remember this song.
Nice.
Energizing.
Good. Everybody behind you.
Alright, and the tide plays a pretty big role in this one.
Good. Maximum power. You've been overtaken.
Submarine. Hey, come on, Dave. Ah, such a cheat.
That's a lap record.
Oof.
You gotta be careful.
No doubt. Come on, let's go.
No problem. Good.
Tide is down.
Nice. Okay. Maximum power. You're about 3 seconds behind. Hey, the final lap.
Hey, come on. Yes.
You did it.
Wow. Okay, nothing flashy.
First and got 7 points. Great race.
Okay. Well, I finished tonight taking the bronze. You know what? That's fine by me. I'm good. At least I'm no Miles Cheddar. More like Miles Cheddar, am I right? Oh, he's gonna be so flustered about that. You know what? These guys are pretty
Third
blocky.
place. Good job.
Pretty impressive how I oversaw that when I was a child. And that is some good stout.
You've got to do better next time.
Oh, really? Okay, our name lives in infamy. But I'm afraid that's it for us, folks. Let's go ahead and quiet this down. Let's go back to our intermission. And let's put some clarity on. Okay. Well, that is it for tonight's Ales and Fails stream, the Retro Rathskeller. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself. I think we made some good progress in terms of Radical Dreamers. We finished the game, and we started on some of the alternative endings. I
apologize for the fact that I did have to stop with all the text reading. I guess my throat is incompatible with the amount of reading that game provides. We'll try to finish the last 5 of those next time, in about 2 weeks' time. But in terms of when we'll be on next, it'll probably be Thursday, and I can only assume we'll be playing some Monster Hunter Rise in the bar fight corner, followed by Hades in the modern speakeasy next Thursday. Look for my calendar. There is a good chance that I'll play the bonus round. We'll see how that goes. And if I do play the bonus round, it'll probably be Donkey Kong Country. So some more retro goodness for you. But yeah, if you joined me neither of the Thursday streams, if you joined me tonight, thank you. I really appreciate your company. It's certainly been fun for me. It's been edifying, if you will. Sit with us again. I was gonna say sit a spell, but that seemed a little too hackneyed. Anyways, yeah. Thank you, and have a great rest of your eve. And as always, stay thirsty, Alpac. We'll see you again.